Am I the a-hole for losing it after finding out my wife let her sister and her boyfriend stay at my late wife's cabin? I lost my late wife to brain cancer. All her life, she was living healthy and always loved spending time traveling and going on road trips. She was always an outdoor person, although she had a demanding career. She had a high-paying job while I was earning money that barely paid for bills. We were married for 5 years. We bought a cabin together that we used for holidays and weekends. After her passing, I couldn't set a foot in it for a whole year. Everything was the way she left it. I don't go there often, but only on big occasions when I need to feel closer to her. My family suggested I sell it, but I couldn't bring myself to do that. The idea of selling it makes me feel like I was losing her all over again. So I left it as it is. I married my now wife 6 months ago. I have 2 step-kids that are filling my days with joy and comfort. But lately, my in-laws have been having issues, specifically my sister-in-law. She lost her job, and she and her boyfriend had nowhere to live. We've invited them to our place for 2 months. Then my brother-in-law took them in. My wife days ago told my brother-in-law had an argument with his sister and kicked her and boyfriend out. I asked when that happened. She told me about 2 weeks ago. I then asked her where her sister and her boyfriend were staying, and she took her time to answer. I asked what's wrong, and she flat out told me that her sister's been staying at my late wife's cabin for 2 weeks now. I was stunned when I heard this, and I asked her for more clarification. She said she gave her sister a copy of the key to the cabin to stay there till she finds a job. Then proceeded to say she didn't tell me because it wasn't a huge deal. I couldn't help but lose my temper. I told her she had no right to hide this from me and let her sister into the cabin knowing how I'd feel about it. She said my reaction was the exact reason why she hid it from me. I called her selfish and inconsiderate of my feelings, but she argued about wanting to help her younger sister and said I was the selfish one for not helping family during tough times. The kids walked into the kitchen and I just stopped arguing and walked out. My wife followed me. I demanded she call her sister and tell her to move out and hand over the key. My wife looked shocked, saying she expected me to react this way, but not go as far as demand that her sister moves out, and called me cruel for making her look bad to the family. We kept arguing till her sister moved out and brought the key. My wife packed her things and went to stay with her parents. She told me that my late wife was obviously more important to me than my family, and that she won't come home till I get my priorities straight. Now for the top comments. Is it too late for an annulment? Not the a-hole. This. Oh my god, you poor guy. I don't know what to say. I'm hurt by what she did. I understand that she was feeling concerned for her sister and wanted to help her. She only visited the cabin twice and felt uneasy being there for some reason. She never let me take the kids and tell me to go there alone. I never made her feel like I was putting her and the kids in second place. I'm aware of how she might feel, but I've never given her a reason to think that I don't love and care about her and the kids enough. I love the kids. I can't stay away from them even for a day, but there are days when I just need some space. I can't control how I feel sometimes. I just become overwhelmed whenever I remember holding my late wife in my arms in her last moments. There was nothing I wanted more than having her back healthy and happy at the time, but all that was gone. Therapy helped me a lot. I learned to deal with some issues that affected my life negatively. But I still have moments where I just need space, and I'm sure that everybody does. My current wife doesn't understand that. What she did shook me despite her good intentions. I just couldn't help but feel hurt and violated. She didn't tell you because she knew it was a big deal. Even if the cabin had nothing to do with your late wife, it's your cabin. So it's as messed up that she let another person not only use it, but live in it without asking you first. This right here, definitely not the a-hole. Just because you're married doesn't mean she automatically has full access to all your individually owned assets in which the cabin is. That's your property, and she had no right to allow anyone else to stay there without permission. When you talk to her about that, make sure you emphasize that point. That your memories of your wife aside, she still behaved badly. What she did was straight up wrong, even before accounting for the emotional aspect. Not the a-hole. So which is it? She didn't tell you because it wasn't a big deal, or hid it because you would react badly. Her sister couldn't hack it at the brother's house, so why would you trust them at the cabin even if you were emotionally ready? Your wife is selfish, and maybe a closer look at why you two are married. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for not allowing my girlfriend to send her food back for a second time? I, 28 male, worked a graveyard shift as a corrections officer in a prison. I've been dating my girlfriend, 26 female, for just under a year now. About once a week or so, some of my coworkers and I like to stop at a local diner to get a bite to eat on the way home. They are very accommodating to us COs, as well as our brother cops, and other people who work the third shift at an area factory as we give them a lot of business. They happily make burgers, sandwiches, nachos, etc. for us first thing in the morning, which we are all very appreciative of since it's evening time to us. So the other day, I felt like stopping after work. None of my buddies wanted to go, so I texted my girlfriend to see if she wanted me to treat her to breakfast before work. She said that she did, and so we met at the diner. We both ordered the eggs/hash brown/bacon/toast combo. She ordered her eggs halfway between over easy and over medium, and her bacon chewy, not crispy but not limp. When the food came, she decided that her eggs were too close to medium. She told the server that she wanted them mostly easy but just barely starting to set on the outside so that there are no runny whites. The server took her food back. I was slightly embarrassed because her food was just fine and was what she asked for from what I could see, but I didn't say anything. When the food came the second time, she decided that her eggs were still overdone, even though they looked less done than her first batch. The server offered to bring her food back, but I interjected, "No, the food's fine. They did a good job. She'll eat it." Long story short, when we left the restaurant, we got into a huge fight. She had to work, so we didn't have much of a chance to discuss it. But when she came over later, she laid into me about how I had treated her like a child and said that I had no right to decide for her whether or not her order was right. She then accused me of caring more about the server than her and implied that I wanted to have an affair with her, which is crazy since she's at least 40 and I'm pretty sure married with kids. I shot back that she was being way too demanding, that it was embarrassing since I was a regular there, that they did a perfectly good job with her food. It wasn't as if she'd asked for over easy and they gave her scrambled, that it wasn't fair for the restaurant to lose money over her being so picky, etc. The way I see it, if you are going to ask someone else to cook your food, you have to give them at least a little leeway. But I can kind of understand what she meant when she said that I had treated her like a child. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. And if she's that picky about her eggs, she shouldn't order them. It's very annoying to restaurant staff. Not the a-hole. I agree. I like my omelets a certain way and can't find anywhere that makes it that way. I don't order omelets unless at my hometown diner. She's expecting too much from a vague description of what she wants. Years ago, while working as a server, I had a lady order a chocolate shake and send it back because it had too much chocolate and she's allergic to it. She then demanded I make her another chocolate shake with only a little chocolate in it. She sent that back too. I read a server story about a woman who complained about her soda because she ordered it with ice on the bottom and it was floating on top. I'm going to go against the grain here and say a soft everyone sucks here. Here's why. Dude, I was embarrassed for you. What the heck is not crispy but not limp bacon? I totally get why you were uncomfortable with her demands. I was frustrated for the poor server and the cook. So she gets to be an a-hole in this situation, albeit not a huge one because she clearly has very particular feelings about her food. Maybe she needs to recalibrate her expectations of this sort of establishment? Or find a better way to communicate what she expects? Which brings me to you. I am going to give you a soft a-hole too because you did patronize her. Instead of cutting her off and overruling her, you should have just been honest. You could have said something like, "Babe, please, I'm a regular here and I really like these people. I feel like you're being too demanding and I'm embarrassed. I'm worried about it being awkward next time I visit." Something along those lines. Instead, you spoke over her and embarrassed her. A lose-lose situation. It's a little worrying that she went to the affair scenario. She sounds very anxious. Maybe there's something else on her mind? All in all, OP, this is hopefully just a learning experience for you both, and you enjoy many happy breakfasts together. Not the a-hole. She was treated like a child because of the way she was acting. I'd have been embarrassed too even if I wasn't a regular there. And then she randomly accuses you of wanting an affair. This is such odd behavior. Does she think it's normal to be that specific in restaurants? It's like something out of When Harry Met Sally. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not canceling my plans when my boyfriend got sick? My boyfriend of 7 months texted me during the week to say that he was sick. Right away I went to the store and got him a bunch of stuff, cooked him a homemade meal, went to his place, and did my best to make him feel better. The next morning, he asked what I was doing that day, and I said I had my senior night. I'm graduating the semester. It's been planned for months, and I've already made commitments to people going, reservations, and paid for certain things. He was upset and said that he would do anything for me, but I wouldn't even take care of him when he was sick, and that made him worried about the future. I feel that this is unfair. If I didn't have standing commitments, or even if it was something I could easily cancel, of course I would take care of him, and I'm worried about him and want him to feel better. But I only graduate from college once, and it didn't seem reasonable to cancel my entire senior night and bail on my close friends on a day off just because he got sick. I think as an adult, he should be capable of taking care of himself for a night, considering it's just normal sickness, without relying on me to take care of him 24/7. This whole thing spiraled into an argument, and things have been weird since. This is my first serious relationship, and I honestly don't know what to think. We talked about it, and I would never expect someone to drop their whole life or cancel plans with others just because I happened to get sick. Maybe unless it was like a life-threatening illness or similar. I'm worried that he might have unrealistic expectations from the relationship, or else I'm just completely in the wrong here. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You hooked him up with everything he'll need to survive one day without you. Your outlook is healthy. His isn't, and it's incredibly controlling. Honestly, out of the two of you, it's you who needs to worry about the future. What happens if you get a high-demand job? Can't call in sick if he gets the flu. What if you ever have kids together? Guess you have one more. He's a grown adult and should be more than able to not only take care of himself, but to also understand your obligations and why you shouldn't miss such a big moment in your life. This is your senior night, not some random Tuesday night out. Agreed. And even if it was just a random Tuesday night out with friends, he should be able to take care of himself for a night. Her world doesn't stop because he has the flu, although with COVID, of course, things are different with the required precautions. Given that this was an event that he ought to have been aware of and that is clearly a big deal, his behavior is childish at best and very manipulative at worst. Not the a-hole. The boyfriend sounds like he will die if he gets the flu while Opie is on a trip or away. He also sounds like a manipulative a-hole. If I was in Opie's shoes, I would not want a future with him. Not the a-hole. And the line about how this makes him worry for your future together comes off as extremely manipulative. My thoughts exactly. Not the a-hole. This is rather manipulative on his part. Where's the red flags? Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband I won't be taking care of his needs anymore and getting him a carer instead? Hear me out, I'm already dealing with issues because of this. My female 33, husband male 30, was injured in an accident at his uncle's farm because he and his cousin were doing pranks that ended up causing problems. He couldn't move on his own and is using crutches. I'm a pediatrician and work is too much while having to take care of my husband. I try to spend more time at home with him, but his requests never end. He keeps asking me to do simple things for him that I'm sure he's capable of doing, like getting him juice, bringing him his pack of smokes, making sandwiches, doing his laundry, charging his phone, etc. I told him I only help with stuff like bathing/feeding, etc., but I was getting overwhelmed and it affected my work. I asked if I could get a family member to help out while I'm working. He didn't take it well. I suggested a paid carer that I pay for, but he said that there was no need for a carer. He kept asking me to do things for him, even called when I was working. He had me leave my shift to come home so he could ask me to make him lasagna. I lost it. I told him I will no longer be handling his care and will be getting a paid carer. But he got upset, saying I don't care about his health to hire a carer, and claimed I love my work more than him. He argued that he'd do a lot more for me if I was injured. He insisted I was hurting his feelings by getting a carer. The argument continued. His mom was mad, telling me for the love of God to just stop treating my husband like a kid by getting him a carer, which is another word for babysitter. Went on about what a wonderful mother I will be in the future since babysitters are going to raise my kids for me. We argued back and forth. I told her my husband was relying on me on things he could still do despite his injury, but she demanded I step up as a wife and take care of him till he gets back on his feet, since he has always took care of him while I was working, like work is a bad thing, and said that if the others heard about me getting a paid carer, they will berate me and call me a bad wife, so she just warned me because she cares about me. It's weird how working is treated like such a bad thing in his family. Like, how can you provide for both of you if you're at home slaving away to all his stupid requests? Also, Mother of the Year over there should step up and help out, since she apparently knows best and her poor baby needs all this help. Not Dayhall. This times 1,000. Mom can do it then, and since she's family, she can do for free. See how long until she's the one advocating for a carer then. I also kinda want you to tell the mom if he, husband, doesn't want a babysitter, he can stop acting like a baby. But I also don't want to give any weight to her stupid statement that a caregiver is the same as a babysitter. It's not. Good luck, not Dayhall. Hey, I'm also a doctor and wanted to try and put another perspective on this. It is so hard to separate what's now happening at home and your job. You have no time to decompress and deal with the constant pressure of caring for others. It's really crap what's happened to your husband, but he's being a Nahal and showing you none of the care and respect you are showing him. Is he supporting you? Is he giving you the time to resolve conflicts you're facing at work or helping you in other ways? No. But more than that, I can't imagine the resentment growing in you that he's now taking you away from your patients and people that need your clinical input. And he's impacting your ability you've given up a large portion of your life to achieve. Getting a carer is the right choice, and I know you know that deep down. You're the only person in your house working now, but it's more than that. You know how quickly people become institutionalized when they refuse to start doing the things they can do because they know someone else will do it. Psych input seems vital for both of you and your husband. I'm sorry you're having to go through this. Not Dayhall, obviously. It's almost like he's trying to sabotage your career because he feels so useless and emasculated. I can't see things getting much better in the future if this is the attitude he has. I hope you should get out before kids are involved. Red flags. Not Dayhall.